Season 1, An Unearthly Child, 9 out of 10. Ian and Barbara, two teachers from a London school, are concerned about one of their pupils, Susan. She's exceptionally knowledgeable for a girl her age and is saying some very strange things. They decide to follow her home to try and unearth the mystery. But home is apparently an abandoned police box in a junkyard, and the granddad she lives with is definitely not what he seems. It turns out they're both aliens, travelling through time and space in their time machine, the TARDIS. Her mysterious grandfather, the Doctor, worried that the 1960s isn't ready to know of his technology, kidnaps the two teachers and takes them all to the TARDIS's next destination, prehistoric Britain. It's great to get to see the first ever Doctor Who serial for the first time, and I wasn't disappointed. The first 20-something minutes are so iconic and establish so much of the premise of what is to come. Many of the things that we now take for granted, such as the Doctor, the TARDIS, the idea of travelling through the fourth and fifth dimensions of time and space, they're all here for the first time. I was surprised how well produced and gripping this first episode was for its time, playing much like a sci-fi thriller. The episode also sets up the Doctor as, at first, rather a guarded, almost frightening character who wants to hide away from humanity, afraid that knowledge of his advanced technology to people from 1963 would disturb time itself. His character does lighten as the Doctor experiences more of the human world and gets to know his new companions, so if you're unsure about this harsher Doctor, keep watching as the series and characters develop. Hartnell is a very interesting choice to play the titular character. Before getting into acting, he'd had rather a colourful and troubled life himself, which seems to inform some of the characterisation he brings to the Doctor. Born in 1908 to an unmarried single mother, when such things were very much frowned upon, he never found out who his father was. Living in foster care, he left school early with no prospects and dabbled in petty crime. He trained as a boxer and a jockey, but ran away. He entered the theatre at 17 as a stagehand and met his future actress wife Heather at 21 whilst working on a play. They'd remained married until his death in 1975. He turned up late to his first film role in 1928 and was made to apologise to each of the crew in turn by the filmmaker, Noel Coward, before being publicly fired in front of them. He then joined the Tank Corps in World War II, but was invalided back to England after suffering a mental breakdown. By the age of 55 years old, when he was chosen to play the Doctor, he'd already made his name playing tough characters such as the Sergeant Major in The Army Game, or thugs and villains in a series of films. He was hesitant at first to accept the role, but was interested in trying something different, although some would argue that there's still a lot of the Sergeant Major in his performance here for all its eccentricity. Once he grew into the part, he also enjoyed being a children's hero, as he loved kids. He had one daughter of his own and 2 grandchildren. He manages to enthuse his Doctor with both an authoritative and a whimsical side, making the character very deep, mysterious, interesting and alien from the beginning. The acting and the story in this first serial is stronger than I had imagined it would be, and the feel of the show is much less camp or kitsch than some of those that followed. The rest of the serial is a serviceable plot about cavemen, but this first episode is essential viewing for any fan of any science fiction, and I'd highly recommend anyone watch it.